Hi, students. It's been awesome to see how many of you have been putting questions in our question document. And you can see that we've had a lot of questions about the C. And so down here, there was more about C and more about C here. And I said I was going to talk about it in office hours today. And there wasn't anyone in office hours. So here I am. I'm going to make a video for you talking about it. So I just downloaded this from the internet, this worksheet. I added it into your student folder and called it what you can see up here, extra practice. It has solutions in it as well. And it's from this website, CUDA. They have a lot of math worksheets. So I'm going to look at this one first. And it says this is all separable. So I'm going to separate this first. I know that this becomes e to the x over e to the y. And so then when I separate, I'm going to get e to the y dy equals e to the x dx. So I can integrate both sides. And then I know that integral of e to the y is e to the y. And I could just add a constant here. So I'm just going to start at the beginning of the alphabet and say plus a. Over here, I could say that this is integral of e to the x is e to the x plus b. But in the end, I want y by itself. So I can move this a over to the other side, and I have e to the y equals e to the x plus b minus a, but that's just another constant, so let's call it a different letter, like c. And then I want y by itself, so I'm going to take ln of both sides. So I'll get y equals ln of e to the x plus c. And then there's nothing else that I can do because this is ln of a sum, so there's nothing else to be done. So in this case, the constant does need to be inside of the ln with the e to the x. I can't have it on the outside because I can't separate out an ln. So this one's going to stop here. Let's see what happens when I have something like, maybe let's try this one. It looks a bit interesting. Or actually, maybe let's try this one over here. So there are no x's, and I want the y's to be together with the y's. So I'm going to divide by this whole quantity. You might be tempted to just subtract the 2y, but then notice that would be dy dx minus 2y. I wouldn't have the y together as a factor with the dy, so that doesn't help me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to divide by that whole quantity, so I'll have 1 over 2y minus 1 dy equals, well, when I divide that, I've got a 1 left on this side, so 1 dx. To integrate this, I'm going to want to do a u substitution. So I'm going to let u be 2y minus 1. Then du is 2 dy. Well, I only have dy over here, so I'll move that 2 to the other side, and I'll call it a half du is equal to dy. So now I can do my substitution. 1 over u times a half du, so I'll put that half in front, equals 1 dx. And now I can integrate both sides. I'm going to add another page over here. So I'll integrate both sides. Remember, I can put a constant in front of the integral, doesn't matter. And then I'll have a half ln of u. So I'm going to go back and replace with my 2y minus 1 plus, let's start at the beginning of the alphabet again, plus a equals x plus b. So first thing, I'll move that a to the other side. So I'll get a half ln absolute value 2y minus 1 equals x plus b minus a. Well, that's another constant, so I'll just call it c. Now I'll multiply through by the 2, and I'll get ln of 2y minus 1 equals 2x plus 2c. Well, that's just another constant, so I'll call it d. And Then I'll take my e of both sides. 2y minus 1 equals, absolute value. 2y minus 1 equals e to the 2x plus d. And now here's often what happens when I have e's. I use my exponent rules to separate that out to e to the 2x times e to the d. Well, this is just another constant, so I don't want to use the letter e, so I'll go to f, and I'll say f times e to the 2x. And then to get rid of the plus minus, I would say that, to get rid of the absolute value, I'm going to say plus minus 2y minus 1 equals plus minus f times e to the 2x. Subtract the 1. Now I can't combine that 1 with any other constant. So I'll get 2y equals plus minus f e to the 2x plus 1, divide by 2, plus minus f over 2. Well, that's just another new constant, e to the 2x plus 1/2. So this new constant I could just call g. So you could manipulate the constant the whole time. The thing is, in the end, this is just a generic constant. So I can go back. Normally, if it's in front of the e, we call it capital A. But you could also just call it c because it's just another new constant. So I hope that helps clarify some of what we've been doing with the constants. Thanks for reminding us about these questions you have. For us, it's second nature to just manipulate those constants and see them as constants. But we know it's your first time seeing it. So keep asking your questions. We're loving them.